I did my walk audit in my hometown of St. Peter, Minnesota. The population of St. Peter is 10,000 people, and the town reminds me quite a lot of Indianola. Here you can see that the sidewalks around my neighborhood are pretty wide and walkable. The only problem is that they do have some cracks that can make it a little bit difficult for biking or roller skating, rollerblading. But other than that, they are pretty safe. They have ramps between the road and the sidewalk that would make it accessible for strollers and people with disabilities. However, one safety concern for people with wheelchairs or anything on the ramps would be that some of them do have some bumps, and as you saw in the one before, there was a big puddle, so that could be a problem for people. I know I've experienced it with rollerblading and biking where it's a little bit dangerous going over those bumps when you go from the road to the sidewalk. Here is a crosswalk going towards our downtown, and cars are usually pretty good about stopping behind that crosswalk. Here shows a button that you can press to cross at a pretty busy intersection. We have Highway 169 that goes through St. Peter, so there is some traffic. But this intersection gives you about 25 seconds to get across here, which is pretty safe. The only problem is that I sometimes have to wait quite a while before it gives the walk signal, sometimes like 3-5 minutes probably. Here is my favorite coffee shop, River Rock. They do have a bike rack outside of River Rock, which helps promote biking because people are probably more likely to bike somewhere if they know there's somewhere they can leave their bike and lock it up. Next, I have a picture of some of the landscaping on our main street, and I think that really makes St. Peter appear like a clean, safe town. The flowers are really visually appealing. And I do think St. Peter is a very quaint, cute town. The roads are also very wide, which makes it safer for driving and anybody who would bike on the road. We also have curbs on pretty much all of our roads, which I think looks nice. From doing the walk audit, I realized that I am very lucky to have a community where walkability is not really a problem. I feel safe walking and exercising around St. Peter. The city of St. Peter has done a lot of renovations recently, like this intersection, which they made safer for drivers and pedestrians. It used to be kind of dangerous. They also redid this bridge and added this cool path across the bridge, which is a very nice place to walk. Here is a park that was built by funds raised by the community members after a tornado damaged St. Peter in 1998. Here is a brand new sidewalk that was added this summer. It goes around some tennis courts, soccer fields, and the baseball fields. I live a couple blocks away from here. So this just shows the value St. Peter has in being active and having walkable sidewalks. I think the biggest dangers for people walking, biking, or skating are the hills around town, people speeding in roads, and cracks or bumps on the sidewalks. Also, there are still some roads that do not have sidewalks. There are some spots on the north end of town that can be very difficult to cross because of Highway 169. There's not stoplights at some parts. There are also a few other busy streets in town that can be hard to cross, but people are usually good about stopping for pedestrians. Walking also is not really the norm in our town, I feel. I live close to a lot of stuff in town, like the school, my church, the stores, but I usually drive. It just seems like that's more convenient, and that's what people in town usually do. I think to improve the walkability of St. Peter even more, we could promote walking and biking more by improving some of our sidewalks, adding even more sidewalks, making them smoother, possibly adding some bike paths, and adding more bike racks around town outside of restaurants would also help.